Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am here to discuss the beginning of the second half of the NBA. We have a 2-game Wednesday slate, and man, am I ready to get that basketball tipped and going, man. It feels like it's been a month off, and it's only been 3 or 4 days, 5 days, whatever it's been. But we are ready to lace them up and get back out there and get it going here. So welcome to everybody. An exciting second half coming. Only 2-game slate, but that gets it rolling. The 6 slates after the Wednesday slate are a minimum of 7 games every night. So it is going to be all you can eat DFS for the next week for sure, basketball wise. So definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. We had a really fun week here with the Coach Talk members. We had really cool contest for the All-Star game that encompassed the Draftkings contest as well as results of the 3 competitions. So everybody had a good time with that. Big shout out to JP Wild, who seems to be on a winning streak for our contests. Nobody can beat him. He was the champ, won some really cool Coach Talk merch. And C. Chatch, our man Colin, got second place and gets a Coach Talk baseball shirt. Really cool one. So that is over with, and we're ready to attack this second half of the season for sure. 2 interesting games to start things off here, and let's dive right into those. The first game, it's 8 o'clock game. It is the Washington Wizards and the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis is a 2.5-point favorite at home, and 238 is the over-under. And that is the latest line from our partners at BetUS, so we appreciate them a bunch. A couple of statistics that we normally look at to get a feel for where things settle in with the slate. We've got, from a defensive team efficiency standpoint, the Wizards, we know, have been really bad, like historically kind of bad all season. So they've been a massive target, and they're still down there. They're 27th. They've passed a few teams, but still giving up a lot of points, a lot of DFS possessions, especially when you combine that with their pace, which is first in the league. So, we've been really diving on these Wizards game. I know they've been popular across the whole industry, but picking and choosing the right guys in the right spots, both for the Wizards and the team playing the Wizards, has been a super key important piece of the slates that the Wizards are involved with. And obviously on a 2-gamer, it's even more magnified on this slate. Let's look at the Grizz real quick here. Again, they're a 2.5-point favorite. They are the 8th best defense in the league. So not bad. They've been up there pretty consistently throughout the year. Really, it's their offense that's been more inconsistent than their defense. They've been steady. That's the best thing I can say. I wouldn't call them a shutdown team, but when they have their full array of guys, they're sneaky, scrappy defensively. Brooks, slow-mo, he really gets on people's nerves defensively. A lot of strips, great hands, deflections. Ja, not that great of a defender, but his quickness certainly pays off in some cases. And then, some of their bigs, Joe Val does a decent job, and Brandon Clark off the bench also can block a few shots and get some things done. So they are showing some consistency from the defensive side, and their pace is good as well. They're also 8th in pace. So you've got the 1st and 8th place pace teams in the league on a 2-game slate, which, considering the second game, although there's some good players in it, is much, much slower pace. I believe this has to be your key game of the night. just for the availability of those DFS points, and not a lot of room to catch up when you're only 2 games on the slate. So let's talk about a bit about these two teams. Let's first of all look at the depth charts. Since we only have 2 games, we can sort of talk about each team and what it looking like for the rotation as they head into the second half. We know Russ has been starting at the point and even been playing back-to-backs. Neither one of these teams has another game tomorrow, so this is a true island game after a huge rest on the front side of this with the All-Star break. So Russ well rested, backed up by Raul Neto, who's done really a good job on that side of the ball for them off the bench. He's a decent contributor, and games where Westbrook's out, Neto's actually been in the conversation. Shooting guard, it's all, of course, Bradley Beal. He's pretty much gotten almost all the minutes there exclusively. Very little rotation from the other guys off the bench. Garrison Matthews, who is possibly the starting small forward. It's either he or Avdia, but more than likely Garrison Matthews. He will slide over and play a little 2 to back up Beal at times, but his minutes are mid-range at best. And then small forward, again, Matthews probably getting the start. Advi has been getting decent minutes there. And then Bertans is a key player for them. Generally off the bench, he's gotten a few starts in the mix as well. So, the small forward's been a rotation there. Wouldn't be surprised, to see Bertans start of one of those 3 either. So, that is a potential as well. So, if he doesn't, though, he's going to get his 24 to 28 minutes and a mixture of small forward and power forward for Davis. The power forward spot, it's really been handed to Rui Hachimura. He's getting almost all the minutes there at power forward. Not much left for Bonga, who was in the rotation for quite some time. He's just barely getting a foot on the court at times. Advia and Bertans also, play 3-4 interchangeably when Hashimura is not out there, but he's getting big minutes. The center position's been a split deal as well. A lot of starts for Moritz Wagner and Lopez and Len both getting run as well, depending on the matchup. In this game against Joval, a big body, I would expect Len's going to get a definite turn in that rotation. So the center spot definitely jammed up and not real strong for DFS purposes. On the Memphis side of the ball, we know Ja's the man. It's his team. He's the guy that's getting all the minutes at point. But they do control his minutes a little bit. He doesn't get crazy 40-minute games very often. Now, he may get a few in the second half as they're trying to get into that playoff 7th or 8th spot. And Tyus Jones has done a terrific job off the bench. And when Ja sat a few, Tyus started there. He's getting decent minutes. He even played next to Ja on some of the run with Grayson Allen being out. Grayson Allen's out. Triple J is still out. I did read that Grayson Allen could be back later this week. He has a concussion that he's still recovering from, even though the All-Star break was here. And Triple J is close to practicing, and they're expecting to have him back in the second half, which will make a huge impact on that Memphis playoff run because he is definitely one of their best players. The only guy out for the Wizards is Ish Smith, by the way, and he's sort of split that backup point guard role with Neto anyway, but now that he's out, not anything to worry about there. The shooting guard, as I said, Grayson has been starting some games. He is sitting. You're going to get it's going to be a combination probably of Desmond Bane, the rookie, DeAnthony Melton, who gets a nice run there as well. And if they play a bigger lineup, they'll move Dylan Brooks over to the 2 also. The small forward spot, it is Dylan Brooks, unless they go big. You'll get Slow-Mo Anderson going over there a little bit, playing 3-4 mixture. And then Justice Winslow, who's been getting 20 to 25, maybe even up to 30 minutes with a prime role off the bench now for the Grizzlies that's changed their rotation. And he's definitely getting better each game. He had only come back about 7 to 10 days before the All-Star break. So he's just getting his legs about him. As far as the power forward spot, more than likely Kyle Anderson will start there with Brandon Clark off the bench, again, unless they go big and they bump everybody over. And you'll get a little taste there of Xavier Tillman, either in a backup center spot to Joe Val when Brandon Clark's in there. And other than that, it's just going to be a combination basically of Anderson and Clark filling that 4 spot. And again, it's Joe Val's center spot to own, and he's played well, had some really strong DFS games in the first half. He did have some foul trouble games as well we remember, unfortunately, when he got 4 2 minutes into the second quarter. That was no fun, but he has played good ball, and the good matchups with a team like Washington. He's in a good spot here. And again, those backup minutes mainly going to go to Tillman or Clark from there. So just wanted to give a feel a bit for their depth chart. And as far as, the guys I see being key spot here, I really like Russell Westbrook in this game. Rested and, being able to attack Ja. I'm pretty sure they'll put Dylan Brooks on Bradley Beal, and I think that, may slow him down a little bit. Again, he didn't get the big rest with the All-Star weekend like the other guys did. So, I'm all about Russ on this card. He's my favorite buy-up guy of the slate, and I think, triple-double, 55 plus is certainly in the cards here and very possible for Westbrook. Not going to pay up for Beal, just trying to keep the salary, balanced enough that I don't have to dumpster dive those last few picks. If Rui Hachimura is a good price, I think he's an option. If Mo Wagner got enough run, which is dangerous, because there are games he gets 10, 15 minutes, even if he starts. And then there's games where he'll get 25 minutes approximately in that neighborhood. And he's a really good active DFS points per minute guy. He can get in some foul trouble, but he's super aggressive. And if he gets enough run at that super low number, 3,200 on DraftKings, I mean, he's a sneaky guy, especially in GPPs that, could get you 25 fantasy points if he gets enough run. But as far as the other safe guy on Washington, as far as minutes, it's probably Rui. On the Memphis side, this is where I really want to attack, Washington's defense. I think Ja is a must play. We know Russ and Brad Beal continue to be in that bottom 3% in DRPM, defensive real plus minus, by the way. And, that backcourt is definitely worth attacking, and I'm Ja's the guy to do it. So I really like him. Dylan Brooks is not a bad play. He's going to get big minutes, especially chasing Beal around. And when he gets hot, man, he gets it going. He's not afraid to shoot the ball. I believe he's a better scorer than he really is, but that's all right. When you roster him, DFS-wise, he's going to get in there and scrap. So gotta, look at him. Where I'm not as comfortable is the 3-4 spots. I just, Clark coming off the bench, there's some inconsistency, even though he has all that talent. Anderson, he can do well. He does a little bit of everything, steals, the whole 9 yards, but there's also games where he just defends. And, you love him as a real coach, but as a DFS coach, not as much all the time, because he doesn't pile up the numbers, even though his value is super important out there. I do like Joe Val. He's my favorite center on the slate. I think that this matchup against Washington is just perfect for him. The pace-up game is fantastic. And, I have no problem whatsoever rostering 3 guys from Memphis. I think that is 2 or 3 minimum for Memphis is perfectly fine. I think you could almost really roster 4, but I'm not going to go that far. I'm not big on stacking in the NBA at all. However, when you have these small slates, 2-3 games, it does allow you the ability to go at least 3 and feel good about it, especially at a matchup with the pace and the defense that Washington brings to the court. All right, we're going to go to game 2. Real quickly, want to tell you a couple things. Great time to sign up at DFS Coach Talk. Tomorrow, the clock starts back with our members. We had shut that down for about 6 days during the All-Star break just to give everybody a break, and nothing counted toward their membership time. So you can jump back in as everybody gets the switch turned back on tomorrow for a three-day pass for $10. You get all the tons of action Thursday and Friday, huge slates to go along with tomorrow's 2-gamer. And we also have a phenomenal deal with our partners at betus.com.pa. You can sign up at that website with BetUS, use the promo code CoachTalk, all one word, no space. And as soon as you get signed up with them, if you make a deposit there, which is a first deposit with BetUS of $149, send us a tweet. We're at DFS Coach Talk. We will immediately put you in to our Discord, and you'll have a free membership all the way through June 1. So, I mean, it is a fantastic offer. That $149 that you deposit at BetUS, you get to utilize to bet on the games, the props, whatever you'd like, and then you get that free membership with us. If you've already signed up with BetUS or you don't want to go that route, you also can just sign up at dfscoachtalk.com for the membership for $149 that takes you all the way until first. So we would absolutely love to have you. We've got all kinds of new partnerships that we're going to be talking about this week. I won't go through all of them now. I don't want to make this too long with only a 2-game slate, but just a lot of exciting stuff. I mean, great promos, some great stuff that we have with everybody from, like we said, BetUS to Draftkings, Fanduel, Yahoo, Super Draft, Jock Market, Monkey Knife Fight, Prize Picks, and I think I forgot one. Of course, I would get 9 of 10 or whatever it is. No House Advantage, that's the other one. So anyway, we've got some great things coming with all of those, some great promos, some great offers. You'll be able to start seeing some of those on our website starting on Wednesday, and we'll be announcing them as the shows go on this week. So really excited to get Andrew back. The two of us will be doing the NBA slate for Thursday. That it's a monster slate, so he'll be back in the mix with me there. All right, the second game, 30 minutes later, 8:30. It's San Antonio and Dallas. Dallas is on the first night of a back-to-back. Obviously, shouldn't have a huge effect on this game with the giant rest everybody had. But, we'll see the Dallas situation tomorrow for the Thursday games to see what happens with that. Right now, the BetUS line is Dallas minus 4.5, and it's a 221 total. So big difference from 238 to 221, and a big reason why we're stacking up that first game. I mean, I know it's going to be chalky to stack the first game, but I don't think you can win, by not having more exposure to that game than this game. This game's not a bad game, though. There are some good things. From a defensive efficiency standpoint, San Antonio's 11th, which, not bad, sort of middle of the pack, and their pace is 15th, also middle of the pack. They happen to be 18 and 14. They're 4 games over 500. So definitely a good first half for them. Not many people expected them to do much. I certainly didn't. And here they are, in that playoff race again, which is amazing. Pop is incredible. From the Dallas side, Dallas is 23rd defensively. Again, really plummeted the second half of the first half of the season here. And they, bottomed at 27. They moved up a few spots, but the defense definitely is nothing to write home about. And pace, though, is only 20th. So you've got two teams, one right in the middle and one below average, especially, when you compare it to that first game where they were first and 8. So a little question there. And the reason why I don't, I'll probably only have 2, maybe 3 at the most guys from this game, making up my lineup. Let's take a quick look at those depth charts, since we've got the 2-gamer here, sort of feel out how things are going. Now, doing this, it's Pop, so you never know what the hell Pop's going to do. He's all over the place with lineups and guys. Like we had Lucas Samancic start a couple of games in there. So, you have to almost take the San Antonio information with a grain of salt to some extent, because you never know what Pop's going to do. But if you can get the right guys in the right spots, man, it can change a slate on you. We know DeJounte Murray is taking that next step to stardom. He is their man at the point. He's a two-way player as far as defense, offense, knocking down the three better than he did before. Certainly a big threat, and I think they're player of the future. Patty Mills has been spectacular off the bench. His price remains cheap. He could run alongside Murray. He's been getting a lot of minutes, good 20, 25 minutes per game in there at the 1-2. And there's a lot of games where he'll finish the game. Pop really trusts him, and he does get it done. The big thing here is Derek White is back, and that creates a big issue for me with Patty and Lonnie Walker, and specifically, even DeRozan a slight bit, but not as much. But as far as, a lot of people have played Walker in the last 2 weeks before the break, because White was out for 7 games, and Walker got a lot of that run exclusively at the 2. But now that White's back, I think that you're going to see a lot of split minutes between White and Walker. I don't think it's going to, or White Walker, the old Game of Thrones thing. Just anyway, Murray, I don't think will be affected at all. He's going to get his minutes. I really believe that. I know when he does rest, White will get some run there, and Mills as well. But that's the guard position. Small forward, it's DeRozan, and he's rested. It's probably going to be a lot of DeRozan. I don't know if you were familiar with the story. About 10 days or so, 2 weeks before the break, his father passed away, and he was really, really close with his father, and it very tough situation. He was away from the team a little bit, came back, and played some really good ball, inspired ball when he came back. So sad story, but he's he's bringing, I think, the emotions out on the court, and he's been playing well. So he's certainly a strong option here, especially since, Keldon Johnson has been getting good minutes, but he's splitting between the 3 and 4, really starting, a more small lineup with Johnson and DeRozan sort of splitting those positions of small and power. Devin Vassell is out. He's still out, so he's not going to sneak any of those minutes from either one of those guys. You will get some run from Rudy Gay off the bench, 15 to 20 minutes possibly. Not really DFS rosterable in my opinion, but he will take some of those minutes at the 4. And then you have the situation that is a bit confusing here. The projected lineup has LaMarcus Aldridge starting at the 5, but Pop really has been utilizing him as a 6th man. So I'm not surprised if you'll see Jakob Poeltl start at center and LaMarcus come in at the 4 or 5 and get minutes there. But for me, that confusion with time and minutes split and the price of those guys, I'm not going to go there and tempt fate getting a 15-minute guy on either side. I mean, that's the end of it for you on a 2-game slate if that happens. All right, let's go to the Mavericks. I don't know if you've heard of this guy, Luka Doncic, but he is the starting point guard for the Mavericks, by the way. He's going to, get huge minutes. I expect you're going to see that increase the second half compared to the first. They'll certainly try to keep him fresh towards the end if they're into a playoff spot. But right now, the Mavs are not, cinched by any stretch. They're just teetering on that last spot. So Luka's going to get a lot of burn, a lot of run. Really, his backup point that'll come in for him is Jalen Brunson. Brunson has been, possibly the biggest surprise as far as how well he's played for the Mavericks in the first half. He's come in and just jumps right in the offense, runs things, hits shots. So, you've got Brunson backing him up. Maybe a little bit of Trey Burke, but he had sort of fallen out of the rotation right before the break ended. Jay Rich is going to get the majority of run at the 2, but they'll bring in Timmy Hardaway there to rest him for some instant offense off the bench. And really between Richardson, Brunson, Hardaway, and then Luka, the main cog there, those are the 4 guys that will dominate the minutes at guard. At small forward, you're going to get Dorian Finney-Smith. He's the defensive stalwart of the team. He'll be in there. He may, get some Aldridge as well, along with Jay Rich. I'm sorry, not Aldridge, but DeRozan. And then, we'll see how that rotation goes from there. But when he comes out, they will go smaller and play Hardaway or Richardson at the 3 as well. Maxi Kleber's really locked down the 4 spot. He's hitting his threes at a much better percentage in the last couple of weeks before the break. And defensively, he's the most solid interior defender for the Mavs. So you can expect some big run from him. From a DFS perspective, though, sometimes, if he's going to hit 3-4 threes and be involved, great. There are times, though, where he gets 30 minutes and 14 DFS points, which isn't going to get it done. So you got to be real careful the spots that you plug him into here. I don't think this is the best spot for him against a scrappy San Antonio team. At center, it'll be Kristaps. I think if you look at him DFS-wise, he's certainly a fantastic play on this slate. On FanDuel, I think he's 100% must-have. I mean, I don't see how you don't play him because he's a power forward on FanDuel. And if you look at the rest of the group there, I mean, it's just, no-brainer. So he's going to be 90% owned. I wouldn't be shocked on FanDuel. Now on DraftKings, it's different. I want to utilize he and Joe Val in my lineup, and you can do that on DraftKings. And I think that his price for what he can bring to the table in this game, I think, is very fair. He's definitely motivated. The trade talks have simmered down a little bit. I'm not sure what the exact scenario is, but he is definitely seems a little bit more fired up and focused. Hopefully he's healthy. That's the part you never know, but we'll see how he does there. And then as far as the backup centers, you can't even think about rostering any of those guys because they may not play. Cauley Stein, Powell, and Boban, between the 3, they, 2 of them may play 5 minutes. The other one doesn't get in. So I wouldn't even mess with that whatsoever. And the only injury in this game right now is Devin Vassell from San Antonio. Everybody else is up and ready to go and rested. So that is the breakdown of all 4 teams and the 2-game slate. Hopefully this gives you a good feel for getting that build in. I wanted to put this podcast out a little early. This way it allows everybody to get settled back in. I think you're going to see a lot of people jumping in contests. Everybody's been fired up to get basketball going again after this All-Star break. So we'd love to have you at DFS Coach Talk as a member. We will be posting lineups on Wednesday evening, 30 minutes before lock. We'll have coach's clipboard, which is highlighted players and a group of other players on that coach's clipboard to choose from. You're going to get a full hybrid lineup from both Andrew and myself. You'll get a GPP lineup there. And we also give you a full hybrid lineup on Yahoo for those people playing Yahoo. So we'd love to have you. We'll be just scouring everything on Wednesday throughout the day for any changes, any news that breaks, anything that goes on. And we'll be adjusting, prior to the game. And then also for those, when we start getting into these monster slates the rest of the week, between 7 and 10 games every night, we'll be following it very closely here and making comments and adjustments in Discord throughout the evenings. If there's any player news, scratches, COVID cancels, all of that stuff, we're on top of it, and we will get that done for you so you don't have to watch every second of what's going on. So if you're watching this on YouTube, the one ask I have, we do these podcasts 7 days a week in front of the paywall. On YouTube, take this second right now, if you can, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. That's very important to us. And hit the little alert up in the upper corner there. That'll let you know when our podcast posts. Again, we have 7 day a week podcasts in NBA. We have a weekly podcast for the PGA. Well, that'll be posted. That posted already. And it's for the TPC Sawgrass, the Players Championship. Check that out. And then we'll have baseball coming up in a couple of weeks with podcasts also. So get all kinds of stuff going. It's a great time of the year. I love spring. It's sort of getting back to a reality world of, what we're used to more so now that the vaccines and everything are taking place. So, maybe by summer here, everything will be back to how we knew this world was a year and a half ago, or really a year ago. I think it was a year ago anniversary from the Gobert thing with the Jazz when the NBA shut down. So amazing how fast a year goes. Hopefully we never have another year like that one for sure. All right. Well, that's it. That's all I got for this two gamer today. Again, catch us all week with these great slates. Andrew will be back in the mold with me tomorrow, and we'll get after it. So we're on a nice winning streak going in with basketball. We're on a 5-week winning streak in golf. So this is the time. Let's do it. Let's make money and let's crush it. So we appreciate you. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you again tomorrow when we look to crush it in DFS.